The first time I understood silence, it wasn't in a monastery or on a mountaintop or inside a perfectly curated life. It was on a beach that never asked me to be anything other than human. And the sand was still cool in the early morning, the kind of cool that makes your feet feel like they're stepping onto something older than a memory. There are places in the world that feel like they're waiting for you. Like they've been holding your name in their mouth for years, tasting it, rolling it around, and deciding whether you're ready. But calling to you, and finally you've arrived. And this was one of them. I'd walked down to the shoreline as if I was arriving late to an appointment I didn't remember making. And the sky was a pale bruise that hadn't decided if it wanted to heal into a blue or deepen into a storm. Wind moved through the palms with the soft insistence of someone flipping pages. And the sea out there was long, a breath being taken slowly. And somewhere inside of me, something that had been clenched for years loosened. Not all at once, but like a hand unfurling fingers. Just one finger at a time. I was not here to travel, not really travel. Well, people say when they don't want to admit they're running, or searching, or trying to outspace the version of themselves they're afraid will catch up. I was here for a different kind of reason. I was here because I'd spent too long being reliable. The reliable, dependable one that got used. The one who handles everything. The one who knows the schedule, remembers the details, holds the weight, keeps the pace, and gets it done. A person can live, a whole life. That useful, competent, composed. And one day you wake up and realize their own soul has become a quiet room that they rarely enter. So I came here to an island where time behaves differently, where people laugh with their whole bodies, where the sun doesn't merely rise, it arrives. And the ocean just doesn't exist, it speaks. I moved closer to the water. It was the color of glass. Held up to the light, and the edge of it crept forward, gentle as a touch. Then withdrew, as it had second thoughts about touching me. Standing there, I became aware of how loudly my mind was still talking. All the voices, all the scenes playing. It was not words exactly, but it's like static, a long-running commentary. I hadn't even realized I was listening to it. What I should have done, what I should do next, what I didn't say, what I did say wrong, what I still needed to fix, who might need me, what I'm behind on, what I'm afraid of. It was exhausting. The ocean waited patiently like it had all the time in the world. Like it wasn't interested in my mental noise, like it had heard much worse. And I took another step until the water kissed my ankles. It was warm, shockingly warm, like stepping into a bath drawn by someone who remembered my favorite temperature, made just for me. And the salt stung a tiny scratch on my skin, and my body registered something old and primal. This is alive. I kept walking in. Each step out was a small negotiation with my fear. Not fear of drowning. I've always respected water, always let it teach me its rules. No, this was different. Fear, the fear of letting go. The water rose to my calves, my knees, my thighs. It pressed against me with a gentle power like hands on my hips, guiding you forward. There's a point when you enter the sea where you stop being the one in charge. Your body becomes a visitor, and you release, you let go. The water has an opinion about that. It tests your balance and rearranges your hair, pulls at your skin as if checking to see what you're made of. And I went in until I had to commit. A wave came up and slapped my stomach, playful, almost rude. I laughed out loud, surprised by the sound of it. It had been a while since laughter had caught me off guard. I'm laughing. Wow, I'm laughing. I remember laughing. Then I let myself fall backwards into the ocean, the way you fall into trust. For a second, panic flickered in my chest, an instinctual flare. But the sea held me, salt water, denser than fresh anything, lifted my shoulders and cradled the back of my head, and I floated, arms open, eyes to the sky, and something inside my body recognized this as permission to stop holding everything up, permission to rest without earning it, permission to be weightless. And the sky above me seemed to widen. The clouds drifted like slow thoughts, and I didn't need to chase. My ears filled with the muted hush of water, and my limbs softened, and the tightness in my jaw unlocked. My breath slowed and deepened until it felt less like breathing and more like being alive. That's when the first Zen moment arrived. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't come with lightning or a chorus of singers or angels. It came like a small truth slipping through a crack. You do not have to carry the whole world to prove you're worthy of being here. I blinked and a tear escaped, not the sobbing kind, not even sadness. It was like my body leaking out what it had been storing, salt on salt, ocean and human meaning in agreement. And I turned my head slightly and saw the shoreline from this new angle. The beach bars in the distance were still quiet, chairs stacked, signs sleepy, and a couple walked along the sand like they owned their own time somewhere. And a bird called out a chirp, confident, as if it had never doubted its place in this day. And me, I was floating, not in a hurry, not responsible for anything. And the world did not collapse. I wanted to laugh again, and I wanted to apologize to myself for all the years I had confused usefulness with love. And a wave rolled under me as if to say, exactly, this is it. I drifted, and a tiny school of fish shimmered beneath me, moving like one mind, with many bodies. And I imagined the ocean keeping a library of everything it's ever touched, every secret, every promise whispered into it, every prayer thrown in like a stone. And I imagined all the hearts that had arrived here broken and left softer. And that's when my story cracked open. It wasn't just like a swim, it was an entrance. Right here, floating between the sky and the sea. I felt like the ocean was reading me back to myself and was showing me parts I'd put away. And he was still curious about, still wild, still capable of being again. I rolled onto my stomach and began to swim, strokes, slow strokes.